Welcome to a Cincy Fan Talking with LP with your host, the one and only LP. Y'all too kind, man. You make me want to come back. It's amazing. Appreciate you. What's good? What's good? What's good, fam? Once again, it's your boy LP coming back after a nice little 2 week spell. I'm not even gonna hold y'all up, man. I just got a little tired. School started, and I didn't realize how much I was like taking on. You feel me? So took a little bit of time, slept a lot, tried to get my lesson plans in order, all that good stuff. And your boy is back. Got a lot to talk about. Try to keep it not too brief, but not too long. Attention spans and whatnot. You know how it goes, but happy to be here, man. Happy to be kicking it with y'all. For all my first timers, all my newbies, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. And for my A1 day ones, hey, welcome back, man. You know how we do. You know how we play. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. Got some stuff to talk about, but first, man, um, rest in peace to everybody who lost their lives on September 11th, and all the families that's still going through it. Because one thing that I feel like I always realize this, but it really hit home. When we lost our kid last year. You know, people, they wish you well, and they really mean well. You feel me? They want you to do well. They're there for you, but at some point everybody moves on, but for the people that lost somebody, you never truly move on, you really don't. you know my family, we're still here. We're still dealing with the loss, getting through it the best way that we know how, but we're never going to get to a place where we're like, we've moved on. You're not going to get past it. It's one of those things where you deal with the grief the best way you can, and at some point you're living, but you're never letting go, and I don't really think you should let go. And for the people that lost somebody on September 11th, you know the nation, they haven't really moved on, but I don't think it really sits in everybody's brain like it did when it first happened. And, for the people that lost somebody, that pain, that hurt, it never goes away. It's always there. So, we definitely reach out to them. We definitely feel for them. I just hope people don't forget. I don't think anybody's gonna really forget, but I hope people don't. I hope it just doesn't fade into the subconscious, and it's just like, it happened, it was bad, and that's it. Because living through that time period, I was telling my kid this, my 11-year old, and I was telling my class this too. Weirdly enough, a class full of 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds, and I told them all the same thing. I was like, there are gonna be moments in your life in this country where something's gonna happen, and you're going to remember exactly where you were when you heard the news or when you saw the news. I remember exactly where I was when I found out that Tupac got shot. I was at a football game. My football team, we weren't really very good, but we always went to the football games, especially my senior year. And someone came up to us and like, hey, Tupac got shot. And we're like, again? Not to make light of it, but it was like Tupac was always getting shot. Tupac was always in some stuff when we were kids, and it was like, dude, he's gonna be okay. And he wasn't. And it was like everything just kind of was like, wow, for a long time, for like a week or so. September 11th was that on a much, much, much bigger scale. Not to like disrespect Tupac or anything, but the massive loss of life that day. I still remember exactly where I was. I still remember the fact that I had a Blockbuster car. Yep, Blockbuster. Look it up, kids. I had a Blockbuster card that was dated September 10th, 2001. Yep, the wife and I, girlfriend at the time, we actually went to Blockbuster the night before. And the next day, everything changed. And I was telling the kids, like, I don't think people understand how much our lives changed on that day. Nothing is really the same anymore. The way we get on airplanes, the way we attend concerts, the way we the way we move around our nation is not the same anymore. I always laugh when I see Home Alone and they wake up like 45 minutes before the flight and just run through the airport. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. Mm-mm. And I was just telling the kids, like, there are going to be moments like that in your lives, and they aren't things that you're going to forget. And I'm like, I know you guys don't really get it because you weren't born at this time. I mean, not even close to being born. But your parents understand exactly what I'm saying. And we just don't want you to forget that so many people sacrifice so much in order for you guys and girls to sit in these chairs, no matter what color you are. You know, so many people gave up their lives to protect America. And I'm cynical about our political process and all of that stuff. I have my reservations about a lot of different things, but I will never forget the fact that there were a lot of people that did some very courageous things to protect us. Like, I'll never forget that. And I just want people to remember that. So, September 11th is always one of those days where I'm like, just remember what people do for you, you know? And that's kind of where I'm gonna leave that. Rest in peace to everybody, and I hope people are doing the best they can with days like this, because these days are really, really difficult, and I definitely get it. Let's change gears. Do I want to get? You know what? I'll get political for exactly 4 minutes. I'll get political. I watched the debate last night, and I watched Kamala Harris look presidential, and I watched Donald Trump look just angry. He, I got off a series of tweets about cats. And look, let me be clear. Let me be 100% clear. For my folks that are not from Ohio, I'm about an hour away from Springfield. You know, I'm not super far from Springfield. Nobody's eating cats around here, man. Like, nobody's doing this stuff. It's like, it's comical, but it's not, because it's just so messed up that like a race of people can be put down like that. Like, oh, they're eating cat. Like, it's comical that people would think somebody would do something like that. Like, they're just stealing cats out of backyards and dogs, and like, it's comical that people would think that. But it's sad that we live in the days and times where people could take something like that and run with it to the point where it's on national freaking television for millions and millions and millions of people to see. That's the part that's not comical. And I put a tweet out there like, yeah, I didn't put a post, I put a tweet. You already know what it is with me. That my cat is safe. Posted a picture of the cat, like, my cat is good. It got quite a few likes or whatever, but I wasn't trying to make light of the fact. I was trying to make light of the fact. I wasn't making light of the fact. I was making light of the fact. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to downplay the fact that, like, Haitians are being completely disrespected in this. I'm more like, you really believe something like that? Like, really? You really believe that? That's absolutely crazy. And again, I don't do the political stuff on here too much. I'm from a time where Republicans and Democrats, like, no matter who you voted for, there was like a modicum of respect. I might not like who you vote for, you might not like who I vote for, but when it's all said and done, we're all people and we're all really looking for the same things. We want our kids to go to the best schools. We want to make sure we have food on our table. We want to make sure that everybody's being respected and taken care of. And no matter who you vote for, that's what you want, right? That's what you want. I just don't understand how somebody could lie on a repeated basis and expect me to vote for them. That's one of the main reasons why I could never be like a MAGA guy. I could never be like a Trump guy. Now, there's a whole lot of different things at play that I won't even get into. But when you look at the core of it, I can't get with somebody who pisses on my head and tell me it's raining on a regular basis. Like, I don't respect that. Like, it irks me when I see a kid doing something and I say, "Hey, why you doing that?" "I wasn't doing that." Dude, I watched you before I said something. Like, I looked at you and I was like, just staring to make sure it was you that was doing it. And then I saw you do it. And then I said something. I'm not making this up. No, 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 Mr. P, it wasn't me. That irks me. It makes the punishment. My fault, y'all. It makes the punishment so much bigger because you're trying to play me like a sucker, like you lying right to my face, like I can't see you. That's how I feel like with Trump. It's like you tell me all these lies, like I can't use the Google machine and check and see that you lying to me over and over and over again, homie. I just can't get with that. Like, just listening to him lie on stage, I'm like, I can't vote for that guy. Now, people gonna do what they do. And the real crazy part is like we're at a point now where you can't just say I voted for this person without feeling some type of way about it. But that's for another day. I found the debate quite entertaining. I like when people sit there and argue with each other. It's messed up that the stakes of our country, but I enjoy a good argument. So the debate was a debate. Just had to kind of put that out there, and I don't know, man. I've never been like a huge political person, but it just irks me when people lie to my face. Like, my eyes can't lie to me 100% of the time. I mean, hell, they don't lie to me like 10% of the time. They're usually pretty right. Like, I see what I see. And unfortunately, I saw the Bengals on Sunday. Yeah, I know. Had to hit that segue on them. Man, and the crazy part, first off, we got to keep a track of my 1 year old, her fits and how the Bengals do when she wear her fits. So she threw on the orange jersey, she threw on the orange shirt, and the Bengals lost. So we 0-1 when she rocked the Bengals shirt. All right, I'm hoping they get some dubs, and she's wearing appropriate gear, so we can be like, okay, the Bengals gonna get this win because she's wearing a black shirt. That's what I'm hoping to get to. But first, they got to get a dub, and the main thing about the Bengals is that they consistently start out slow. They do. And you know what? I won't even lie to you. As a coach, especially like my first couple of years, my teams had like a horrible tendency to be so trash in the first quarter, y'all. Like, our first half, we was always down by like 10, 12. And I couldn't really understand what it was. Like, I couldn't get it. And then I realized, you know what? I think it's me. Like, as a coach, I was a little too laid back. I was a little too lax. I'm like, we're going to be okay. Just do what we do, go team. And I kind of played it like that. And the main thing I learned about being a coach, and I learned this about being a teacher, is that your kids take your temperament. They don't mean to. Sometimes they don't want to. But those kids, they take your temperament. I come laid back and I'm like, we're going to do this. We got to do what we do, play defense, us on three, us. And they come out and they're not playing lazy, but they're not playing with fire. And the other team's ready to play. And I'm like, yo, we down 12. We always down 12. Then I get pissed. Then, I get hyped up. And then the kids start playing with that fire. And at the end of the season, I realize it's me. So I kind of had to change what I do. I had to go like, you know what? The way I act when they're down 12, I'm going to act like that in warm-ups. So I started, getting really pumped up. I tried to make sure it wasn't superficial, like I'm really pumped up. And it was like a light came on because the kids, they started doing that. And then they started taking that to practice and like everything got a lot better. I think that's the problem with the Bengals. They come a little too laid back in the first couple games of the season. And you can tell that there's spurts where they pick it up. But for the most part, they're like, we'll be okay. We'll come back. They don't play like that when they're 0 and 2. They don't play like that when they're 4 and 4. It's like they need that fire lit in them. I would recommend that they just approach games like they're 0 and 2. Like, really, that mind shift helps so much. And, it's kind of like, come on, that don't really make sense. But when you think about it, it does because it's like a temperament. Like, it's kind of like a shift change you do in your brain. The Bengals don't really seem to play well unless they feel like there's something on the line. And I know you're thinking, I mean, they're professionals, but come on, in your job, sometimes do you have to tell yourself certain things, get yourself pumped up to do the job? I know I do. I mean, Wednesdays are difficult for me because it's like midweek, you dragging it in there, the weekends not that close yet, but Monday's kind of in the rear view. So I got to kind of tell myself certain things, get myself pumped up. Yeah, these kids got to get this done because if they don't, they got to test and they're not going to be able to do what they need to do. So then I kind of pick up my energy and then the kids pick up their energy and the day goes so much faster. It goes so much faster, man. And I feel like that's what the Bengals need. I really feel like they need that pick me up. I don't think it's anything scheme wise or anything like that. Although I've always been kind of sideways about our defense. I feel like they play way too passive. I mean, there's so many teams in our division. Every team in our division, they have exotic schemes as far as blitzes and they're showing stuff different. I feel like we just play so vanilla on defense. Not the players, but the scheme. I feel like I'm the only person that thinks that about our defense. I mean, if I'm not, hit me up, let me know. But I don't hear a lot of people saying that about our defense. I feel like it's just me. And at some point, the league catches up with that nonsense, man. We gotta like switch it up and do different things. But I'm seeing people online talking about fire Zach Taylor, this, that, and the third. Really, we firing Zach Taylor after one game. And if you're going like, nah, it's because of their bad start, man, it's always how you finish. Please remember this. The start is important, but how you finish is crucial in everything. How you finish can erase a bad start. Now, if your start is too bad, then you cooked. So I get why everybody's upset, but to me, 0-1 is 0-1. It's okay. I feel like they're going to beat the Chiefs. I feel like the score is going to be 23-21, 24-21. And I feel like, because just like I said, when the Bengals get pissed off, they are a scary team. When the Bengals play good teams, they are a scary team. They really are. Look what they did to San Francisco last year. When they play good teams, they pick it up. I worry about them more against the bad teams for real because they don't play with that fire. So let's see if I'm right. 24-21. I feel like my kid's gonna be in a black jersey. Had a couple talks with some folks online, and we all agree it's time to bust out the black jersey. So that's what we doing. Black shirt. Let's get this 24-21 win. That's the goal. So yeah, that's that on that. Um, Before I jet out, haven't done a lot of recommendations because I haven't been on, but check out. It's not the Connor Stallions documentary. I won't call it that, but check out Sign Stealer on Netflix. It's basically the story about how Connor Stallions helped Michigan Do I have to say allegedly cheat? I'll be safe. Allegedly steal signs. I don't think it's alleged. I don't know. Allegedly steal signs in order to help Michigan win a title and win three Big Ten titles and go to the CFP twice. Now, as an Ohio State fan, now I'm truly biased on one hand because I'm an Ohio State fan. I've hated Michigan for decades. There was like a 2, 3, 4 year gap when the Fab Five was out here putting in work, and we were all Michigan fans. If you were like a black kid in the 90s, especially the early 90s, and you listening to this, you understand that you were a Michigan fan. I wasn't a Michigan fan when they played Ohio State, but I wanted them to win. Like five freshmen out here doing it with the baggy pants and the black socks and the bald heads. I'm like, that's us. That's what we was doing back then. Well, that's what we started doing. They started doing it. But other than that, I despise Michigan. So when I say all of this, I want you to understand, like I'm telling you this so I can be transparent. So you can understand what I'm saying is like my truth, but I'm not saying this because I hate Michigan. I'm being completely honest. I feel bad for Michigan fans. I truly do. Because here's the thing. The team they had last year, and it's just me being for real, y'all. The team they had last year, they didn't need to cheat at all. They didn't need people signs. Like that team was that good. Now, I'm not a JJ McCarthy fan. I don't really feel like he like the super duper real deal. But for what Michigan does, JJ McCarthy was absolutely perfect. They didn't have a quarterback that could run and throw and make the big throws when he needed and just manage the game until JJ McCarthy came along. If you call him a game manager, I mean that's cool because that's what they needed. They needed a game manager. They needed some folks on the outside that were just fast enough to keep up with Ohio State to help their defense bring home the game because they always had a solid defense. And that's what they had. Nobody was beating them last year as long as the coaching didn't get in the way. Now, did the cheating a couple of years ago before that team help them get there? Probably so. And he basically admitted that he cheated for real. He did. He tried to do like the little sneaky, well, no, I ain't cheat thing. But on one hand, I feel bad for Michigan fans because their title's always going to be looked at as tainted in a lot of people's eyes because they stole signs. If you're telling me everybody stole signs, yeah, true. However, when you paying for people's tickets to sit down on the 50-yard line and film people while they like doing their thing on the other side, when you dress up in another team's colors and uniforms to stay on that sideline to steal signs on the other side, dog, you cheating. You are. And like I tell the kids all the time, well, so and so is doing it. But I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to them right now. I deal with them. But you're cheating right now. So I'm talking to you. That's basically what this is. And it really doesn't matter who told on them. I mean, they still did it, right? That's my thing. I feel bad for the Michigan fans. But on the other hand, it's like you're cheating to get an advantage. It really doesn't matter if you won all the games after you cheated. It's still you still cheated. Like no, but we won. See, so it don't matter. No, it does matter. You cheated. What I found super compelling about the movie was all of the different sides. Well, of the documentary, they got the sides of the players who I felt super bad for because some of them was talking like, you know, I don't know what was going on. We just followed instructions like we were supposed to, because that's what players do. And maybe they knew, maybe they didn't. But as a player, you're gonna be like, "No, I'm not listening to you." you're gonna listen to your coaches. And then they got like, the rival side. They got to talk to Ohio State fans and stuff like that. They actually had Connor Stallions on there who told his whole thing, and I mean, it was insightful. It basically reaffirmed what I always felt about college football, college basketball, and all that. There's one there's one truth. If your team is cheating, then oh no, it's not our fault, man. It's whatever. If anybody else's team is cheating, they super wrong. And it really doesn't matter who it is. Like if this was Ohio State, I'm just being real with you. I would think of like 15 different excuses as to why they did what they did. And I would. I'm just being honest. But since it's Michigan, I'm like, nah, man, they some cheaters, man. They can't do that. And I understand that about myself. I get that. I don't think that every other fan agrees with that. Everybody's a cheater except your team because you want your team to win and you really don't care how they do it. That's the biggest problem for me. That, and I'm not saying this as like a Michigan hater. I'm saying this as an overall like a parent and a coach and a teacher. We are at the point where we don't care how we win. We just want to win. And that's really, really dangerous because that's how you get a Connor Stallions. That's how this stuff happens. That's how college football became so messed up because the fans don't care. Michigan fans don't care. If I was an Ohio State fan, well, I am. I'm what I'm saying. I messed that all up. What I'm saying is, if this was Ohio State and they won the title and people say they cheated, I would not care. They won. Deal with it. Cry. And I see a lot of Michigan fans saying that cry, cope. And I kind of laugh because I'm like, that would be me. We have enabled cheating. We have. And it's not a Michigan thing, it's an everybody thing. Like, I see parents doing all types of stuff to get their kids an advantage to win. And it makes it really difficult to be a coach, a teacher, or anything like that because we're in a society where it's just win. Don't worry about how you do it. We'll figure that out later. It's dangerous. It really is because what we're doing is we're telling kids that the process doesn't matter. Integrity doesn't matter. You just got to win and everything else will work itself out. That's why this really happened. I mean, you got somebody like Jim Harbaugh who was 0-5 against Michigan, against Ohio State, and he's like, I got to do something, and that's what he did, and they won. So now he's not there anymore, and he goes out as a hero, and he's letting the people that really didn't do anything, they're gonna get punished. And that sucks. That absolutely positively sucks. They're gonna be Michigan players a couple of years from now that are gonna bear the brunt of all this. And it's messed up. And as an Ohio State fan, I could be like, I'm here for it. Ah, we about to get these wins. But on the other hand, it's messed up. It's just another case in 1,000 cases of adults messing stuff up for kids when it comes to athletics. Watch Sign Stealer. It's compelling. It's really good. Um, and then as I was watching it, it went off. And then the next thing, and I gotta watch this, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know about this next week. They did a doc about Steve McNair. And I already know it's going to be super good. I also know it's going to be super sad because of the circumstances. So, y'all stay tuned. The doc I just saw, The Sign Stealer, definitely for headphones. Can't give it the full five. They didn't flesh it out as fully as I thought they would, but it was really good. Definitely recommend. Check that out, y'all. It looks like that's my time because I smell food downstairs and I need to get to that. So definitely hope y'all enjoy. Hit me up on the socials. Hit me up on the Twitter. That is a Cincy fan talking. Leave off the G. Get at me. We can have some fun. We can go ahead and kick it. As always, keep it respectful with your boy, and I'll do the same thing. And that is the music. Good job, director. Nice way to get that cue. And we are out of here. Appreciate y'all kicking it with your boy. Life is good, y'all. Have a great one. Peace out.